The person you cannot seem to stop thinking about genuinely does care about you. Even if everything between you feels uncertain, complicated, or difficult to fully understand right now, there is a deeper reason this person keeps returning to your mind again and again. It is not accidental or random. It is not happening simply because you are bored, lonely, or emotionally vulnerable in the moment. Something meaningful is sustaining this connection deep within your inner world and everyday feelings. This person appears in your thoughts for a clear reason. Even when you make no effort to think about them, they come to you during quiet moments, when the noise of the world fades away and your mind finally settles. They show up in the small pauses between your usual thoughts, in those seconds just before sleep when your guard is completely lowered. Sometimes they appear without any warning in the middle of an ordinary day while you go about your normal routine. If you cannot stop thinking about someone even when you try, it often feels confusing. You could be busy with work, talking to someone, laughing with friends, or feeling calm, and suddenly their face appears in your mind without invitation. Their voice, their smile, or a special memory connected to them rises inside you naturally and effortlessly. It happens smoothly, without force or intention. You may have tried many times to push these thoughts away. You may have told yourself firmly that it is time to move forward and that thinking about them no longer serves a meaningful purpose in your life. You may have reminded yourself again and again of the confusion, the distance, or the silence that exists between you. At times, you may have questioned your own thoughts very seriously. You may have wondered if you are imagining something that is not truly real or holding on to hope without any solid foundation. You may have asked yourself why they still matter so much when nothing seems clear or settled between you. Yet, no matter how hard you try to distract yourself with other things, they continue to return to your mind steadily and consistently. Even when you tell yourself that you are completely done with it all, even when you feel strong for a while, they remain quietly present within you. This is not a coincidence, and it is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It does not mean you are stuck, desperate, or unable to let go of the past. It simply means there is a bond that has not been fully resolved yet in your shared story. It means something emotional still exists between you, whether it has been spoken out loud or not. Connections like this are not created by simple logic or careful planning alone. They are not controlled by willpower, no matter how strong it feels. They are formed at a deeper level, where emotion, memory, and meaning come together over time. When someone continues to appear in your thoughts without effort, it often suggests that there is unfinished emotional energy still present between you both. Something was felt deeply, even if it was never fully expressed in words or actions. Something was shared between you, even if it was never clearly defined or labeled properly. This person may also be thinking about you, even if they do not reach out or speak openly about their feelings right now. Thoughts do not always travel through spoken words or messages. Feelings do not always show themselves through direct action or obvious steps. Sometimes, people carry emotions silently because they feel unsure of what to do with them. They may feel overwhelmed, afraid, or uncertain about the future. They may not know how to express what they feel, so they keep it within themselves. But just because they remain quiet does not mean they are empty of care or emotion toward you. Silence does not always equal absence of feeling. You may sense them at unexpected times during your day or night. You may feel a sudden wave of emotion such as warmth, sadness, or longing without fully understanding why it arrives. You may feel connected to them even when there is physical or emotional distance between you. This is not just imagination playing tricks on your mind. Strong emotional connections often operate beneath the surface in ways that are difficult to see clearly. They do not always follow predictable rules or timelines. They exist quietly while influencing your thoughts and emotions in ways that are hard to explain. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are simply human. Caring deeply does not disappear just because your mind decides it should end. The heart does not move on immediately just because logic demands it. When something meaningful touches you, it leaves a lasting impression. That impression remains until it has been understood, healed, or gently transformed over time. This connection does not mean you should wait endlessly or ignore your own growth and needs. It simply means that what you felt was real and important. It means the bond truly mattered in your life story. Confusion does not cancel out love. Silence does not erase emotion. Distance does not always mean there is no feeling on the other side. Sometimes distance reflects fear, uncertainty, or inner conflict. You may never receive clear answers, or one day you might unexpectedly get them. Regardless of what happens, your experience remains valid. Your thoughts are not meaningless, and your emotions are not without purpose. They are part of something that touched you deeply. If this person continues to live in your thoughts, it is because something between you has not fully settled yet. That does not mean it must continue forever in the same way. It simply means it mattered. And things that matter often take time to find peace within the heart. Be gentle with yourself during this time. Do not judge your thoughts harshly or rush your feelings to disappear quickly. Understanding often arrives slowly and naturally. Sometimes the purpose of a connection is not to last forever, but to change you, to teach you something important, and to remind you of your ability to feel deeply. Even in confusion and silence, that connection can still hold meaning for both sides. When someone occupies your thoughts this deeply and consistently, it often indicates that the emotional cord between you is still active. Even if you no longer speak regularly, even if life circumstances pulled you apart, your mind is not holding on without reason. Human beings are rarely disturbed by what is complete and settled. We are affected by what feels unfinished, unclear, or unresolved. You may notice that you think of them when something good happens in your life and you want to share it. Small moments, victories, or experiences often bring them to mind. You imagine sharing details of your day with them because those details feel meaningful to you. You wonder how they are feeling even when your own life is full. Sometimes you feel drawn not just to their presence, but to their emotional world and inner state. This kind of pull can happen when two people are emotionally connected, even across distance. Emotional bonds do not disappear just because communication stops. Silence does not erase connection. Distance does not cancel attachment that was built over time. When two people connect deeply, that bond leaves an imprint on the unconscious mind. The unconscious does not follow strict logic or timelines. It responds to meaning, emotion, and what feels unresolved. If you are still thinking about them, it may be because some part of you senses that the story is not fully complete. This is also why the connection can feel complicated and difficult to understand. Sometimes love that is simple becomes clear quickly. Love that feels distant or confusing often exists between fear and desire. One or both of you may be afraid of vulnerability, change, or repeating past pain. Fear does not erase love. It delays it. It hides it and creates distance where closeness is desired but feels risky. You may wonder why, if they care, they have not acted or reached out. Why they have remained silent for so long. The truth is that emotions do not always move in a straight line. Many people feel deeply, but do not know how to act on those feelings. Some are guarded because of past experiences. Some carry unresolved wounds. Some feel unworthy of love, and others believe they must fix themselves before allowing closeness again. All of this creates hesitation, silence, and confusion. But beneath it, emotion can still exist. That is why the connection lingers, why thoughts return, and why the feeling does not simply fade away. What you are experiencing is not random, it is not meaningless. It is a reflection of something that mattered deeply, something that left a mark, and something that still seeks understanding within you. The mind often returns to what the heart cannot easily resolve. This is why they appear in your thoughts when you are calm, when everything is quiet, or when you are emotionally open without distractions surrounding you. At night, when distractions fade away, the unconscious begins to speak more clearly than it does during the busy hours of the day. During the daytime, when your guard lowers even for a moment, the same natural process occurs without any effort or force. If you want to understand why this person continues to live in your mind every single day, pay attention to this detail. You are not forcing these thoughts into your awareness. They rise on their own from deeper layers within you. And that is something important to always remember. Thoughts that arrive uninvited often come from emotional depths that have not yet been fully processed. There is also something more happening beneath the surface. When these memories come back, when you think of them, you are not only thinking about who they are as a person, you are also remembering who you were when you felt connected to them in a unique way. Certain people awaken parts of us that remained dormant with others before. They reflect something back to us that feels familiar, meaningful, or deeply alive within. Losing access to that reflection can feel like losing a part of yourself, at least for a while. This is why the longing feels much deeper than simple attraction. Distance between two people who care for each other often exists not because love is missing, but because timing, fear, or inner conflict stands in the way for now. You may feel that something is holding both of you back from moving closer, and that feeling is usually worth paying attention to. When emotions remain active without resolution, the mind keeps the connection alive until it finds understanding or closure. You might also experience moments of emotional confusion. One day you feel strong and detached, and the next day a small reminder brings everything rushing back again. This kind of fluctuation is completely normal and part of the process. It shows that your conscious mind is trying to protect you, while your emotional side is still deeply connected underneath. These two parts do not always align perfectly with each other. Healing does not mean forcing yourself to forget everything. It means understanding why the bond exists and what it is asking from you at this stage in your life. Sometimes the connection remains because there is a lesson to learn. Sometimes it stays because communication is not fully complete. And sometimes it remains because both people are slowly growing toward the same emotional truth, even if they are not ready at the same time. Emotional timing is rarely perfectly aligned in life. If you feel that they care about you but remain distant, it may be because they are facing an internal struggle of their own. They may feel the same pull toward you that you feel toward them. They may think about you more than you realize. They may even wonder if you still care deeply for them as well. But instead of moving closer immediately, they hesitate. This hesitation often comes from fear of loss, fear of rejection, or fear of changing their current situation too quickly. Love does not always announce itself loudly with big gestures. Sometimes it hides behind silence and careful steps. Sometimes it waits quietly for the right moment. Sometimes it stays in the background, hoping for a time when it can move forward without risk. The absence of action does not always mean the absence of feeling. What matters most right now is not trying to control the final outcome. It is about understanding what this connection is revealing to you about yourself and your own growth. It may be teaching you patience. It may be showing you your worth and inner strength. It may be guiding you to stop chasing and start trusting the process. Or it may simply be preparing you for clarity when the time is right. Whether that clarity comes through reunion or gentle release, your feelings are valid. Thinking about them often does not make you weak. It means you are responding to something that exists beyond simple logic. The mind tries to explain everything with reason, but the heart recognizes what is real instantly. When something truly matters, it does not disappear quickly or easily. If they care about you and distance still exists, then time and inner growth are quietly working behind the scenes in both of you. Connections like this often move slowly because they carry depth and meaning. Depth requires readiness, and readiness cannot be rushed. No matter how much you may want clarity right now, allow your thoughts to pass without judging yourself harshly. Do not force extra meaning onto them, but do not ignore them either. Pay attention to how you feel when they appear in your mind. Whether it is calm, warmth, sadness, longing, or hope, each emotion carries useful insight. Your feelings are communicating something important to you. Remember this truth, that what is meant for you does not require constant struggle or pain. It may ask for patience, but it will not demand that you lose yourself in the process. Whether this connection becomes something real or slowly fades with time, it is shaping you in ways you may not yet fully understand. And if one day the distance naturally closes, it will be because both of you are finally ready to meet without fear holding you back. Until then, trust that what you are experiencing has meaning, even if that meaning is not completely clear yet. When you think about someone repeatedly, when their presence stays in your mind from morning until night, there is often a quiet connection happening beneath the surface of daily life. Many times, they are thinking about you as well, even if they never say it out loud or fully admit it to themselves. They may care deeply, even if those words have never been spoken between you. Love does not always appear in obvious ways that everyone can easily recognize. It does not always come as bold actions or confident decisions. Sometimes, love expresses itself through silence and patience. Sometimes it shows itself by waiting for better timing. Sometimes it appears through careful restraint to protect what matters most. The person you cannot stop thinking about may feel something very deep for you. That feeling may be strong, heavy, and constant inside them. But love does not always mean they are ready to act immediately. Readiness and love are not always the same. Someone can care deeply for you and still feel unable to move closer right now. They may feel unworthy, as if you are too good or too complete for them in this moment. They may be afraid of hurting you because they understand how meaningful the connection is. They may believe that the timing is not right, that life is too complicated, or that circumstances are not aligned yet. They may carry unresolved pain from the past, from previous relationships, disappointments or losses that still influence their choices. They may fear that getting closer could lead to losing you completely. So instead of moving forward, they pause. Instead of reaching out, they hesitate. Instead of expressing what they feel openly, they keep it inside to feel safe. This is not because they feel too little, it is because they feel too much, and it overwhelms them. When feelings are light, people act freely. But when something feels truly meaningful, people become careful. Fear begins to shape their thoughts and decisions. When love feels casual, people move easily without much concern. They communicate without overthinking and take risks without fear. But when love feels important, something that could change everything, people slow down. They become aware of what is at stake. They start thinking about responsibility, impact, and possible outcomes. They try to protect not only themselves, but also the person they care about deeply. This is why distance can exist even when feelings are strong. It is not created by a lack of care, but by an internal struggle within them. On one side, they feel your presence strongly. On the other side, they feel fear, pressure, doubt, and responsibility pulling them in different directions. These opposing forces create confusion inside them. They may ask themselves difficult questions repeatedly. What if they cannot give you what you deserve? What if they disappoint you? What if they damage something beautiful between you? What if they are not ready yet? What if their past continues to affect this connection? What if getting closer makes things more complicated instead of better? These questions do not come from a lack of feeling. They come from caring deeply and understanding that love carries weight. So they choose distance as a form of protection, not from you, but from their own overwhelming emotions. They step back, not because they do not want you, but because they are unsure how to handle how much they truly want you in their life.